This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2022 Super Lite model 261BH. So this is more of a how-to video than anything else. So I'm going to show you around the trailer and point out how some of the things work. Okay, it's not really a floor plan video. So, okay, so you have regular crank down scissor type stabilizers. Takes a 3/4 inch crank or a 3/4 inch socket on a drill. Comes with a crank. Keep in mind that this right here is a quick connect for the LP system. So you can always plug a grill or whatever you need in there. Just make sure it's the correct grill, the correct pressure. Any old grill won't work. It has to be designed for RV. Okay. You have this cooktop here. There's the valve there for the LP. So you have two burners on it, and you also have a dorm type of refrigerator to go with it. This is obviously a sprayer. It goes into this spray port if you want to spray things out. Also, there's another spray port on the other side. I'll show you when we get there. This is the service panel for the refrigerator. You don't really have to go in there, it's just for service. You have a power awning with LED strip. Now this right here is the vent for the range hood. So if you're running the fan, you always want to have this flapping freely, like that. If you're not venting, you can just shut it, but always open that baffle so it flaps freely if you're going to do that. This is your water heater. The water heater tank is directly in back of this. It's a 6-gallon tank. One thing you need to remember is to operate the electric heating element that's behind this cover here, there's a rocker switch right here, on and off. You have to turn that to the on position. There are also switches inside the trailer I'll show you, but to turn on the electric heating element, that has to be on. Always make sure there's water in the tank before you turn it on, otherwise you'll damage it. To drain this, it's done right here. It's an 1 6-point socket. To get that off, and you'll have to put an extension on it, of course, and a ratchet or a breaker to break it free. That's also an anode rod, so it's long, 6 or 8 inches long, but that's where you drain it. Okay. You can adjust your legs on the stairs by pulling that knob out, and they'll slide up and down independently of each other. This is your crank right here, 3/4 inch. They also give you the one that fits on a drill, so you can put that on your drill or driver. Okay. This sticker is just telling you that this is pre-wired for solar. So there's wires back there for a solar controller. There's also on the roof. There's also a place to hook up the solar panels also. Okay. You have your hitch here. We'll show you how that operates when you pick up. It's a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. It's a good one. We'll show you how that operates, like I said, when you pick up. This is your power tongue jack, up and down, right? Now, keep in mind that if this ever fails for any reason, you can always pull this plug out of the top and put that 3/4 inch crank or the socket on there and crank it manually. So you can always get yourself out of trouble with it. Okay. You have two LP tanks which are full, and then you have a deep cycle marine battery right here. This is just for your dock lights here, and this is just the other side of the pass-through storage. This comes with a dump hose, which I haven't put in here yet, but you'll have a dump hose with it, and a reducer to reduce your power cord down if you need to. Okay. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this is the left in front, or as we say, the door side or off door side. Marker lights are pre-wired for a camera system. So you can get a camera system. It would have 3 cameras, one for the backup camera in the back, which I'll show you where that goes, and then you have one for the off door side here. Another one goes on the door side. This piece would come off, and it'll plug right onto there, and it's just a camera, so you can see what's happening. It's already wired for that though. Let's move down some. It's your power cord, obviously 30 feet long and 30 amp. Like I said, it will give you a reducer to reduce it down to 20 so you can plug it in at home if you need to. Your water is right here. The sprayer I showed you can connect here also. This is where you hook your water up, your city water hose. Now, right there, when it's vertical, you can see by this drawing here, when that blue lever is vertical, it means your city water. So if you got city water, you just put it on there, turn it on, and you're all set. Now, if you need to fill the tank because you're going someplace where they don't have plumbing on the campsite, you can turn it to the horizontal position like it shows right here, and then pre-fill your fresh water tank and then use the onboard pump to pump it. So you have two options, but either way it'll work as though you have city water. This last one here is a black tank flush. So you would, after you dump your black tank, you see you got your gray lever there, you got a black lever there. The black one is toilet water and waste, so after you dump that, you can leave that valve open, hook the hose at the dump station on here, turn it on. It'll spray out the inside of your tank, clean off the sensor so you get a good reading, that sort of thing. But like it says right here, do not use tank flush with the valve unless the valve is open, so make sure you open the valve if you're going to do that. You have a little blue LED, tells you you're getting power this far, which is good for diagnosing problems. You'll know if it's from the campground or inside the trailer, just to look and see if that's blue or not. There's the housing for the rear backup camera. Remember I told you you could have a 3-camera system. You can just do the backup camera too. You don't have to use all 3. But you have the option of having 3. So that's what that is. It has also you have a ladder, which is great because the manufacturer states that you should inspect your roof every 90 days. So you need somebody to go up there and check all the caulking and sealant for separation or cracking, make sure no water can get in, make sure nothing was damaged, none of the roof attachments or roofing materials were damaged by low branches or by road debris flying up there. Just inspect it every 90 days and you'll stay ahead of everything. You'll never be surprised by anything. You can protect your investment. So odds are you won't have to do anything for a long, long time, but that's why you're inspecting it, just to make sure. People generally don't inspect their roof enough, generally speaking. So this right here, this port right here, let me see if I can get down here to show you a better view here. Okay. Right there, it's got a hex on it. Now you can crank that slide out, in and out, manually if you need to by turning that hex right there. So keep in mind you can always get yourself out of trouble if something happened and it was stuck. You can always crank it manually. Okay. Alrighty, so let's go inside now. Okay, so here are your controls. Your slide room, in and out, your awning. I'm going to tighten it up here. The awning, extend and retract. Never leave it out unattended. You have a light for it, of course. Up here you have your water pump. Remember I told you to use the water pump to pump water out of the freshwater tank if you don't have city water. You also use that pump to winterize the trailer. To light your water heater on gas is right here. To turn on the electric heating element is right here. Remember I showed you there's a second switch in the lower left corner outside. So keep in mind, never use it without water in the tank. Your battery's charged. Fresh water has a little bit in it because we're testing it. Black is empty, gray is empty. It graduates up in 1/3 increments as it goes. Once you get past 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping the gray in the black tank, of course. Alrighty, so let's see which way to go here. We'll go this way. Just so you know, the back of the water pump where there's bypass valves, you'll have to remove this screw right here. It's a number 2 square-headed screw. You take that divider out and you'll be able to see the valves on the back of the water heater for winterizing. To access the water pump, you'll remove this bottom drawer here. You remove it by pushing this one up, this little black plastic thing up, on that side and down on this side, and then pulling on it. It'll slide right off the rails, and that way you can pull out the winterizing hose and you can you know, put it into a gallon of antifreeze and you can winterize it right from there. So keep that in mind. Microwave works like any other microwave. This is the range hood I told you about. Remember, there's a vent on the outside you have to open when you're using the fan. You also have a light. I don't know if he's got the gas turned on here, so if not, I'll just talk you through it. I'm not going to run up there. So this is the sparker. You turn it clockwise to spark it. 3 knobs and 3 burners, and then of course the last one is for the oven. Let's see if he's got any gas. Yeah, you do. So it's that simple. You just turn it on and spark this by turning it clockwise, and you're all set. Then for the oven, it's a little different. It's sort of like the old one, but slightly modernized. You can see that there's a, I don't know if you can see it back there, but there's a, you have to spark it. There's a pilot light back there, okay? So what you do is you go to this picture of the flame, and then you depress this knob and you keep it depressed. Then you light it. When you see the pilot light light, you're going to still hold it in for another 5 or 10 seconds to heat up the thermocouple. Then you go to operating temperature and it cycles as an oven does. When you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light, so you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. We also have lights here. Oven light and an ambient light. Okay, always travel with the lid or the glass top down. This device here is your power converter. So this converts AC to DC power. So, I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. I just dropped the camera. Okay, well, if you were sleeping, that probably woke you up anyway. So, all right. So, these are the circuit breakers for the 120 amp AC current, right? So there's these. Let me back up. These are regular circuit breakers like you see at home. It works on 120 AC. Okay, this is sort of a distribution panel right there. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC over here. So you got 12 volt fuses and 2 breakers right there. So if those fuses blow, they'll actually light up and glow, so you can actually see them through this perforation here. But more importantly, this is also a battery tender. So as long as you're plugged in, it's going to sense how much energy your battery up front has, and it'll always keep it charged up. It'll send, if it's charged, it'll just maintain it with a couple amps. If it's not, if it's lower than that, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs to keep it charged. So as long as you're plugged in, this power converter is going to charge your battery. And when you're pulling down the road, of course, your tow vehicle's alternator will charge the battery. Okay. Sorry about the camera. All right, so this is a gas absorption refrigerator, and it works on either AC power or LP gas. Okay, so you're just going to choose mode. Generally, what you're going to use it on is auto electric, because if you use auto electric, it always seeks out electricity. If it can't find it, it'll switch over to gas. Or if it's running on AC power, let's say you have a power outage at the campground, it'll sense that and it'll switch to gas. So auto's the way to go. But let me show you here. There's auto electric, A with a plug. All right, see if I can get it to keep moving here. Come on. That's just electric, not auto. And that's gas, okay? So you're going to want to go with auto electric, and it'll switch to gas automatically. This is your temperature. Generally, you want it up all the way. Once it gets starting to get cold outside, you might have to back it down a bit. But generally speaking, in the summer, you have it up all the way. Okay, and then of course there's your on and off there. So it's gas absorption, LP, gas, and 120 AC. Okay. Alrighty, so your bunks, of course. This bunk folds up for storage. The bottom one does. Shower works like any other shower. Sink works like any other sink. You do have a fan up here. This is a GFCI, so all the plugs in the trailer are wired to this GFCI, so even the one on the outside. So if it pops outside, you're going to reset it in here. Alright, now the thing to know about the toilet, if you don't know RVs, is you can't use it dry. By dry, I mean the black tank below. That's residual water pressure right there. So the black tank's directly below. So when you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water, you'll come inside and you'll put 1 dose of chemical right in the bowl, and then you'll step on the flush pedal right here, and you let it go till you put about 1 gallon of water into the tank below. Then it's ready to be used. You never use it dry because the smell will be terrible, plus it can get clogged up. Let's say your tank's full and you need to dump it, but you're still going to stay at the campground another week. You would dump the tank, and then you would come in here and repeat that procedure, chemical and water. So anytime you're starting off with your camping, you're going to want to put water and chemical in it. Okay. All right. So let's see what else we have here. You can drop this table down and put it on the cleats on the side there, turn it into a bed. This one here is, let's see what it is. It's a hide-a-bed, so you take the back cushions off, you grab it down here. It's a 3-panel hide-a-bed, which is it's actually it's not like the old ones used to be, where you got a bar and your back with springs and all that. It's actually comfortable. Okay, so this is the thermostat. Now the thermostat, to turn it on, you hold the mode button for a few minutes. It's already on, so I didn't have to do that. Well, here, let me start by shutting it off. To shut it off, you got to hold it, and then it'll go off. Turn it on, you do the same thing. All right, so we'll get it back on here. Okay, so then you go through the different modes. Fan, which is the air conditioner running without the compressor. Cool, and then furnace. Furnace is your LP furnace. Now, which lights automatically too. Now we're on air conditioning here, so you see that the fan speed says A. That's auto. You should always use auto when they give you an option to do that. It's the best way to run it. You can pick high or low, but auto is the way to go with it. So that's all. You can set the fan here and the mode there. It's very simple. There are remotes with this somewhere. I don't see them offhand, but oh yeah, they're right here. So the small one is for your sound bar, and the larger one is for your TV. This is for your smoke detector. So basically what this does, it plays FM radio, no AM. You can stream off USB, so you can put all your albums on one USB stick and take them with you. It has Bluetooth, so it'll hook up wirelessly with your phone or tablet. You can stream with it. This HDMI is an in. So if you wanted to get like a portable Blu-ray player or something, you could plug it straight into that. You also have 2 speaker zones, 1 and 2. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. So there's a lot you can do with it. The TV, of course, works like any other TV. It has a swing out bracket back here, as you can see. It's got a little magnet here to lock it into place. Where everything's hooked up as it should be, yes. So that's that. So let me come over here for 1 second to finish my thought here. Okay, so this has a power booster for your digital antenna. You can see how this is green right here. This is the power booster, so it actually affects your TV over there. Although you can hook a second TV up here, but you can shut it off, but you won't get a good picture. You always want to make sure that's glowing green with the button on, or you won't get any good pictures over the antenna. So keep in mind, this has a backing plate, so you can put a TV up here, and there's your hookups there, okay? But make sure that that's green when you're using the TV. Of course, you have storage under the bed here. Let me put this down here. Okay. And this is your escape window. So you just basically push this all the way through if you need to escape. You grab a hold of this red tab and pull the screen out. And that way you can escape through that window in an emergency. All right. Your sliding doors, you want to hook them here first, of course. They slide. You got 2 of them. I haven't looked at them yet. I just want to make sure there's no marks on them. Okay. That looks good. over here. Yep, looks good. Just make sure they're latched when you're traveling or else they'll get banged around. Okay, so let me see if I forgot anything here. Let me look around. Yes, I did. Right here, this is your carbon monoxide and LP gas detector right here. It should always be green. If it's not green, get it serviced. It's very important, of course. If it detects carbon monoxide or LP build up, it'll go off. If that happens, you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off at the front, figure out what's going on. If it beeps the same tone but very slowly, it's telling you that your battery's low. So it also tells you about low battery. I'll put it through the paces so you can hear it. LP is good, carbon monoxide coming up. And then low battery alarm. And then back to green. Like I said, it should always be green. Okay. So I think that does it then. All right, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I told you about inspecting the roof every 90 days. That's very important. Just protecting your investment. It's part of owning a trailer. It's just part of regular maintenance. Of course, you have to winterize it in the late fall, so make sure you take care of that. Right now, it's de-winterized. It's in summer camping mode. So antifreeze has been purged out of the system and replaced with fresh water. Your water heater tank is back in camping mode, and it's filled and with fresh water, so you're ready to go with it. Okay? Thank you.